Resuming. Weird World Order broadcast. Dialer phones connected. Initiating broadcast signal in
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I'm the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, here comes the...
Booyah! What's up? It's your boy, Joe. What's up, everyone?
And to my other right, weighing in at 178 adamantium-filled pounds, coming straight out of Krakoa, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
As Nightcrawler would say, mein Gott in Himmel!
Mein Gott, the X-Man always coming with the quotes, the X quotes.
I should probably look up see what that means.
You know, I actually tried because Nightcrawler is my favorite X-Man, and
right.
I looked it up, and I
think it's my God in heaven. I think.
Yeah, it didn't translate to anything, but yeah, that's the good old days. I don't even think we had Google back then when I looked it up. So
nope,
we probably didn't.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, what did you do nerdy this weekend, X-Man?
Oh, this weekend, my wife was on vacation, right? So we did a couple things. We went and saw some of the fam. We drove down to the glory old land of Hemet, but it was pretty nice because I finally got to pick up my books, man. I had probably about a small box worth of books to pick up. So I got me a new X-Men small box, which is very nice. So by the way, Diggers Comics and Collectible, Hemet, California, check it out. Then after that, we went down to Oceanside to see my father-in-law. It was pretty cool. We had some lunch down there. We just drove down, had some lunch, came back, got right back because had to be back in time for karate. And the very next day was Earth Day. And on Earth Day, I don't know if you gentlemen know, but all public transit was free. So we took advantage of that. We drove down to Irvine. We hopped on a Metrolink train, and we rode it all the way into Oceanside. Yes, we were in Oceanside again, 2 days in a row. And I didn't even see Joe. My bad. But we had some dinner with my daughter. It was nice. I haven't seen my daughter in a little bit, and her and her boyfriend, my daughter Victoria and her boyfriend Ben. After that, we okay, sorry about that. My wife didn't check. Okay, she was in charge of the scheduling, right? And, I'm pretty lazy, so I left it up to her. She checked the schedule to get us out there, which is fine. And we assumed that we could get back. And by the time we got to the train station, she realized, oh, look at that. There's no train back in time. So she goes, well, the kids are so excited. You go and take them on the train. I'll drive to Oceanside and we'll meet up and we'll have dinner. And then we'll just drive home together. And I'm like, you sure? I'll do it. No, she goes, no. I used to ride the train to work all the time. You go and take it. They'll have a good time with you. And it was nice. We drove right down the coast, got to see all the waves, got to see, the nuclear power plant that looks really interesting. And then we got to Oceanside. It was pretty nice.
The Dolly Parton?
Yeah. She's a baddie.
Yeah, anyone growing up in Oceanside or anywhere on the coast knows those Santa Fe nuclear power plants and what they're known for.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool. That sounds like a pretty exciting weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about the public transit for Earth Day, but at least you got to hang out in Oceanside for a little bit, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Joe, what was your nerdy excitement for the weekend?
Well, we were in San Diego for what's it called? Conflict Con? I can't remember the name of it.
Oh. San Diego Comic Fest.
Oh, Comic Fest? Why is it Conflict? Yeah, so we were there. So even though you was in Oceanside, I wasn't in Oceanside. We were in San Diego, me and Alan. It was pretty cool. It was very small.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of the older comic book conventions, and I don't mean that in a negative way, as far as it was uneventful or not fun or anything like that. It just more of they did a very, very focused decision, and the vendors that they had and the guests that they had, where they wanted to make sure it wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's the hot up and coming artist for Marvel, or oh, buy your variant covers of all your comic books. There was none of that.
Nice.
What they had for their for their vendors were people who were dealing with like nostalgic stuff that was hard to find. There was this one dude who was trying to sell an Incredible Hulk statue for 135, and I was going to buy it, but then I checked on eBay and it was going for 49.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a very cool convention. I liked it. Not going to talk too much. Joe, who were some of the small press people that you remember? At least their comic books and stuff.
I remember Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus Newsom.
Yeah, which we're gonna get on our show, talk about his comic. He's got a movie coming out too.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. The only problem that I had with that dude, and I'm gonna say it, man. Dude's just trying to be like the nice guy, but I'm the bad guy. Freaking Peter David, bro. This dude was whack, Alfie. Let me tell you why this guy's whack, bro. So like, of course, they have, comics that they're selling that Peter David, had written and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Dude was sitting there and Alan's like, hey, yo, do you mind if we could take a picture with you? He's like, yeah, sure. And he goes like this, Alf. He puts his head down and starts looking at his phone. And now we were thinking like, okay, maybe he's answering the text. He's staying there. Then he looks up real quick and sees that we haven't taken a picture, looks right back down again.
What?
And I'm just like, you know what, dude? I was thinking about buying a paperback because, Peter David, Alan knows I love Peter David's writing.
Right.
One of the reasons why I like the X Factor and freaking, and I started reading Incredible Hulk because Alan was like, yo, this guy, Peter David's really good. And I was thinking about buying the trade paperback and have him sign it because I remember me and Alan had him sign a few things before, but like I had said before, like a lot of my comics got burnt. And I think the ones that I had him sign were already burnt. But just the fact that, I was thinking about buying something for you, bro, but then I found out you was a real douche.
Dang, dude. That hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a little bit of a different perspective. Though I do agree with Joe, I think as an artist, you're constantly having people come up to you and ask you for stuff. And, I think that perhaps Peter David had been approached so many times that at the end of the day, he needed a break for a second.
Yeah.
But
there was nobody there, Alf. There was nobody there.
There was actually someone there in front of us who had a very lengthy conversation.
One person, Alfie. And then we walked around a few times because it's small, and he was sitting there by himself.
So what I was going to say in conjunction with what Joe said is, as artists, I feel like, Alfonso is just a genius when it comes to his comedic delivery, whether it be in conversation or whether it be with his memes. And, clearly Joe has like an understanding with TikTok and the stuff that he posts. It definitely resonates with people.
Right.
And I feel as artists, you guys are always going to be at a point, no matter whether you blow up and you're making TV commercials and people are signing you guys up for shoe deals and stuff like that. You're going to stay humble and appreciate the people who helped you be successful.
Exactly.
And I feel like what Peter David demonstrated at that moment was just a lack of understanding that, hey, when we were kids, when we were 16, 18, 13, whatever, and we picked up your Incredible Hulk comic books, that made our day.
Right.
Like Joe said, I was so hyped up. I was like, dude, you have to get this guy's comic book. And maybe because he looked at us like, oh, these guys don't know anything about comics or whatever. We didn't look like your average nerd. We weren't drooling when we rolled up on him.
Right.
Maybe he thought that we were just trying to take a picture of a random guy. But you know what, Peter David, don't assume and never get bigger than your fans.
Yeah.
Right.
So was I as upset as Joe? Seldom am. But I have to say that my interaction was very disappointing with Peter David. And I hope whatever degree of success I have, whatever degree of success we have, I take that moment and I remember how disappointed we were with someone who we, for many years, have always respected as an artist. And he lost our respect that day.
Yeah. Right. Well, dude, look at this, dude. It was in the time where artists were the ones that were blowing up everywhere. Everybody was getting a comic because of an artist.
Right.
We were getting a comic because of his writing.
Right.
And someone that's good at writing and detail and feelings and creating characters, you think he'd be better like that in his real life?
Exactly.
He is just going to be a story. Because when we freaking blow up and people take pictures of us and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you take a picture. Oh, I'm going to tell them about that Peter David story.
That's one thing I appreciate the most about Kevin Smith. No matter what, he is super gracious to all of his audience. Every possible chance he gets, he's there to smile, shake your hand, take a picture with you, whatever you want to do. He is somebody who exemplifies, I was a nerd once. I was once on the other side of this, and now I'm blessed enough to be on this side of it. I'm going to take care of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in contrast, I think the first artist we talked to was Marcus Newsom, the guy who's writing. I got his comic book right here. I'm going to drop it on the screen. Nice. Lightning Strikes. Okay, this dude, basically, he wanted to take his life story and combine it with a comic book, like sort of a superhero feel, and just the excitement that he had telling us, like, his idea for a comic book.
Right.
Made me say, like, well, let me get all 4 issues,
Nice.
And of course Joe jumped in and he's like, hey, let's see what we can do to have you on our show.
Right.
Yeah. That's the sort of thing that makes me excited. Like, remember when we met Larry Houston?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Look at the contrast between Larry Houston and Peter David.
Right.
He stood there and he took pictures with us. He didn't put a tip jar in front of his table like Peter David did.
I forgot about that tip jar, man.
Seriously?
Like,
oh my God.
What, Peter? You're gonna make me a drink in the back? You're gonna play that piano in the hotel? You're gonna start playing that?
Here you go, sir. This is to ensure promptness.
Yeah, so it's just a completely different experience. And I love people that love their product and love their craft and love the people who love their craft. And there's just such a contrast, whether it be someone younger, just starting like Marcus Newsom, or whether it be like a Larry Houston. That's the sort of person I want to be around in the nerd community and the comic book industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard Larry Houston was supposed to be there.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, I didn't see him. He stands out. I would have seen him.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's definitely going to be at Comic-Con Revolution.
Okay.
And I believe there's another comic book show coming up in Pasadena, which is like Robo Toy Show, or there's a G.I. Joe festival. He's going to be at those too. So, a lot of opportunities to see Mr. Larry Houston.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Houston's dope.
Yeah, he's so great. But speaking of Pasadena, one time back in the 90s, there was this little comic book convention in Pasadena, right? And it was fairly big, but it wasn't, by any standards, like a WonderCon at least, Me and my boys went, and it was great, and it was before people were like, selling everything so much. They were selling their stuff, but everybody had something free to give, right? So I'm just collecting things left and right, like woohoo. And that was the first time I met Joe Quesada, right? And this is before Joe Quesada was Joe Quesada, right? And I'm like, oh man, this poster, he had just been setting up, right? He got there late. He's setting up a stack of posters like this. And I'm like, whoa, are these free? And I mean, maybe I should have said how much rather than are these free, but he's like, wah-bah! No, those are $20. And I'm like, all right, sorry, buddy. and that really surprised me. I mean, I've heard a lot about good stuff about him, but maybe he's grown over the years and realized, where he should be and, how he should be with his fans. But at that point, he's, the 90s, he's probably too big for his britches at the time. He had Ash, what's that called? Ash was a firefighter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Of course I had it, but, But
did that comic book ever go beyond issue 1?
I think there was it might have been oh, wait, I don't think it did. But I did get a few of his autographs. I had a stack of books there. I think I ended up buying the poster from him. I just didn't like his attitude. I didn't appreciate that, right? But that one first issue, that X Factor issue that had Random in it. This first time you see Random, he's pointing his gun at it like this, and he signed right in the center of the barrel. His cue. I'm like, oh, dude, that was so perfect.
It was. Awesome. It was. I remember that issue. That was one of the ones that got burned.
Oh man, you gotta tell me about this fire sometime, Joe. That breaks my heart, man.
It was like, so they had this little garage, and I had it in, kind of like a little, in boxes, And so somehow, I don't know if the owners did it, like of the condos or whatever, but the whole garage side, I think there was like 8 of them, all got burnt down. And so like I had some stuff in there. I was able to salvage. Like I told Dukes, one of the ones that I'm glad didn't get burned was the first appearance of Deadpool.
Okay.
So that was, like I can't. So like when I get upset, I just remember, oh yeah, at least I have that one. But yeah, a lot of stuff got burnt because like I'm looking at issues. I'm like when me and Alan be walking in Frankensons, I'm like, I had that issue. I remember that issue. I remember reading that one.
Right.
So I'm thinking about getting like all the old ones, like maybe a first appearance of like Random, Bishop, Long Shot, stuff like that. And you can get them at Franks and Sons. They have them like posted.
I was going through my stuff the other day, and I have a few dupes of some key X-Men issues that I might have to throw your way.
Oh, tell me when they go.
You will not be disappointed.
Oh, I won't be. Yeah, tell me when they go. Tell me when they go.
Awesome.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe.
Help Joe get his comic books back. We can all sing a sad song like Sarah McLachlan, and we can have Joe looking in the screen.
Things we lost in the fire.
Yeah, so yeah, that was pretty much my nerdy weekend. Overall, I enjoyed SD Comic Fest because I got to talk to small press guys who were just starting off their comic books. Mm-hmm. That's what I love. They have that excitement, that passion, like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always dope. I mean, that's the one thing we look forward to is to talk about artists, or writers.
Let's talk about Doctor Strange trailers and Doctor Strange theories. It's going to be on you guys today because I avoid theories and I avoid trailers. If there's a new Doctor Strange trailer out that came out, I don't know about it. I watched the one.
Okay, I got one bit of information for you. All right, so I think it's Screen X where you've got one big screen and then you got 2 screens on the side, so it gives you a lot more of the picture.
Yeah.
So the scene where Professor X rolls up and he's like, what do you say? I think we should tell him the truth, whatever. You see a little bit more of the side of his head, which is so you can see it's one big bald head, Professor X. You also see more of the chair that he's sitting in, which seems to be that yellow hover chair that he's always in.
Yep.
So they're talking. I've heard so many rumors about like this is going to be the X-Men animated Professor X. I mean, he may not be animated. He may be just be live action. But if you think about it, Disney has no real new X-Men stuff that they're promoting other than X-Men 97, right? So why not bring something that you can roll into that?
Well, if you remember from the first trailer, you remember they had that little anime or cartoonish kind of scene. And that was the first time people started talking about X-Men 97. Right. Because there was that scene in there. And so that's what they were saying about that. So
are they going to have a cartoon Xavier just sitting there in his chair like, Scott, to me, my X-Men. Meet me at the monorail. It was something she actually said in the show. And like there are t-shirts right now that says, meet me at the monorail.
Okay, I've seen those t-shirts and I was like, that reference is lost on me.
Wait till you see tomorrow's Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
I certainly hope that Storm is at Disneyland and she's saying, meet me at the monorail.
I can make that happen.
Dude, you can make anything happen.
Sure
anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm sure.
So, okay, regarding this Screen X nonsense, trash. Okay, it's trash. It's like, hey, everybody, you thought it was Professor X, but now you get to see more of the chair that you already knew what it was. And guess what? It's the yellow chair we've all been talking about since the trailer that Duke saw a month ago.
Yeah.
Really?
The only thing is like, is he going to be the only one that's going to be in it? Because there's mad rumors of like a Wolverine being in there. But is it going to be Hugh Jackman? Because, there's no news of a new Wolverine.
Well, didn't they a while ago say that they casted what's his name, something Egerton, the guy from Kingsman, to be Wolverine?
I don't know. There was rumors of Eddie, not Eddie, but Radcliffe. What's his first name?
Yeah. Oh God,
from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
David Radcliffe. Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel
Harry
Radcliffe.
Potter. There we go.
We could just say Harry Potter. We got that.
Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter.
He has a good height.
He does. But so does this Egerton guy, and he's pretty jacked. He's pretty skilled. You saw him in Kingsman. I think he would do well. I did read something once where like somebody's like, why don't you get like a Canadian native, right? Like somebody like Momoa would look more like what Wolverine would look like being a Canadian native. And I'm like, oh, that's true, huh? So, but why couldn't they do that? Why couldn't they get it's more of a native Canadian to play that part? Somebody who's short in stature, buff, just ripping up trees all day long. They're out there. One of them's got to be able to act.
But Marvel, unless it's Sony, bro, like people are like, oh, they should cast this guy to play this or this girl to play that. Marvel's done pretty good, and Kevin Feige and Disney have done pretty well at hiring the best people to play the part.
Yeah.
Unless it's Sony. If it was Sony making an extra movie, I get it. Hey, say whoever you want to go play it. But Marvel and Disney have been pretty good at casting certain people to play certain characters.
Right.
So I feel like the only movie that relied on quote unquote star power, actual Marvel movie. We're not talking Sony. We're talking an actual Marvel movie. The only one that relied on star power was the atrocity that is Eternals.
Yep. For sure, dude.
I think that the formula of Marvel is let's take a really good actor who hasn't had the success and allow them to shine.
Right.
So I feel like Egerton could do it. Momoa, first of all, is like twice the height.
Right. I wouldn't want
for
that.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I feel like Egerton is actually a smaller guy. He could do it.
Wolverine's 5'3". I will accept 5'6", but no more.
Yeah. I agree, 5'6".
Yeah, everybody said that, and then Hugh Jackman at 6'2" came. What's up with all these?
He's like, good night, mate.
Aye, how you like? Aye,
throw a little shrimp on the bobby.
Aye.
I could talk X-Men theories all day long. What do you got in actual stuff that?
Actual theories for Doctor Strange,
right?
There's so many. Here's my thing, which I think is really great, but concerns me about the Doctor Strange movie. Remember how there were so many set spoilers coming out for Spider-Man No Way Home? And it was like, spoiler, boom, set picture, boom, this, boom, 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 that. There's none of that coming out for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's been kind of quiet too.
Yeah.
But you know what they have now? They have that Skywalker humongous room where it's just like the back. Everything's like all green screen, and they do all their acting. Like, remember they used it for the Book of Boba Fett, and they can just throw whatever background in they want, and they make it look perfect. So they may not be doing live location sets. It'll be easier to keep under wraps. You know what I mean? And that regardless of how bad that show was, it looked pretty good, right? Except for the bikes.
Yeah, the bikes were pretty bad. But that could be a reason why. It just concerns me that I feel like, no set leaks. That just tells me like maybe the people on set aren't as excited about the movie as the fans are.
Yeah.
Or maybe they learned a little bit something from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Or maybe they actually understand NDAs.
Yeah, that could be it as well. Absolutely.
Did you guys hear that Tom Cruise is not going to be in this now? It's like they were like, Tom Cruise is going to be in it as Superior Spider, Iron Man, whatever. And they're like, oh, he's going to be in it. He's going to be in it. He's going to be in it. And then now it's like, maybe not.
No, I never wanted to see Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be one or two listeners out there that are going to say like, oh, but the world loves Tom Cruise.
Do they?
No, I never wanted to see Tom Cruise in the movie. And I feel like it was just one of those things where it's like people take a very small speck of truth, which is Tom Cruise could have been Iron Man.
Right.
And they turn that into into the rumor, which then becomes, oh, did you see that one scene that was all blurred out and we blew it up to 4K? And when we blew it up to 4K, it looked like a black woman with a flaming mohawk. That's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, a variant of Iron Man's going to be in there because you see the variants of Ultron bots. So Iron Man's going to be in there.
I mean, they could just be Ultron bots, though. I wouldn't mind seeing Tom Cruise walk in, get shot, then he's gone, and then we move on, right?
Because you can have those bots without Iron Man there.
Well, I mean, Ultron became Sentinel. It was like because it could have been created by an alternate reality Iron Man came in, and like that guy's already gone. It could be the same Ultron from What If.
I just think it's the different variant of how Iron Man in that universe that didn't happen made the bots that were designed to help protect the world. I think that's the Iron Man that's there.
Yeah.
I think. But there's also like 3 different versions of Doctor Strange in there.
There are 3, you're right.
So the original one, the Defenders Doctor Strange, and then also like maybe the What If Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oh,
there's 4.
Duke's called us on a 4.
So you have Doctor Strange, you have Strange Supreme, which is the sorcerer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. Then you also have, did I say like the regular Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
And then of course you have Zombie Strange.
Yeah. That's just 5, really. But then is the Supreme's Doctor Strange still alive? Because you remember who's looking at the statue.
Yeah, he's the one who told Doctor Strange that he's the one who was in the trailer. Is Strange Supreme. When Doctor Strange walked, that was him. And then they show a different Doctor Strange who has 6 arms.
You're correct.
The third eye.
That's right.
Yeah, that looks like Zombie Strange.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then there's probably going to be 2 Wandas.
Yes, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 Wandas. Theory there is there's like a good Wanda and a bad Wanda.
Oh, 3 actually, because there's a zombie Wanda.
Oh yeah, good old zombie Wanda.
Mm-hmm. So then, because of that, do we get Vision and White Vision?
Ooh, that would be a possibility, but those aren't actually from alternate universes; they're from the same universe.
Right.
But they're still 2. Well, he's Tony Stark technology.
Yeah, you're right. He is. That would be a good place for him to pop up. I was thinking that America Chavez, who I can get to in a second, she was actually part of the Young Avengers for a little bit. Reboot, Young Avengers. But you also have Scarlet Witch's kids, who were also Speed and Wiccan. There's a possibility, since there's all these multiverses, that they could come back.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's that, because she wants her family back. That's the whole thing.
Right.
She wants her family back. And, I know we're talking Professor X and all this, but I feel like she could still set up the House of M alternative. Mm-hmm. She could bring the mutants in at the end of this movie.
I think she's going to do that.
How about America Chavez? I've actually picked up like her first and second issues because I thought that she was an interesting character as far as like, okay, she's a Latina, but she's a very powerful character, very strong character. I like her. I'm very disappointed. Well, okay. I am very impressed by Disney and Marvel's stance, because in Saudi Arabia, they're saying that because America Chavez mentions her mothers as in 2 lesbian women who raised America Chavez, that they're banning the movie. 12 seconds of the movie, and they're banning the movie. Disney and Marvel are saying, well, keep your money, which is fine. I love that. I absolutely love that. I feel like America Chavez is a great character. I feel like she's being forced into this movie, but she's perfect for the movie. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
Wait. First of all, how did somebody get a hold of 12 seconds of the movie? How did they know this?
I don't know. It's wild.
So we just got done talking about how there's no set pictures that got leaked, but these fools managed to get 12 seconds of lesbian mom time. Can you forget that? Hey, what other stuff did you guys find out about other than that? That
give us some juice, man.
Yeah.
And
Spill the beans.
It's Disney, so at the most they're gonna have an arm around each other and maybe a pet goodbye. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be as bad as they say it's going to be. I don't think.
Yeah, and I'm all for representation. You know, we always say like representation that's forced is bad, but this is directly what the comic book is.
For real, they didn't rechange the character to accommodate.
Yeah, it's like in the past, comic book movies have received criticism because you want to make this character black or you want to make this character Latina or whatever. Right. This is the character, bro. This is it. This is how she was written from inception. Let's run with it. Let's roll with it. Let's let America Chavez be America Chavez.
What's your power set?
Power set plays perfectly, like absolutely perfectly into this movie. So I'm going to mess it up, but I'm going to say this. And I mess it up because, of course, I'm not going to explain it correctly. But she can basically rip holes open or kick holes open into dimension A into dimension B. So she can create portals, for lack of a better phrase, between dimensions, as well as being able to fly, as well as being super strong, as well as being super invulnerable, which is generic. Her ability to travel through universes and dimensions makes her perfect for this movie.
Yeah. Does she have control over that, or does she need like Doctor Strange to guide her?
No, I think she's got like, pretty much control. I'm sure in the movie, I'm thinking they'll probably, have something where she doesn't have complete control. This is just my assumption. I don't know. This is IMO.
Makes sense. She's new. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think eventually her power with Doctor Strange's ability will create, she's able to help him get through all these different multiverses of madness, if you will.
Okay. You think Loki's gonna pop up and
you're gonna see a portal open up behind, and all of a sudden and it's gonna close. And
Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
they have to, right? You would think they would have to, because that's what it started from. That almost not even so much as No Way Home from Doctor Strange. I think it started at the end of Loki.
Holy rabbits, dude! I had completely forgotten about Loki because it was trash. But no, except they brought in Kang.
Yeah.
Kang has a grip of variance. Now, granted, Kang is traveling through time, but Kang is also going to be the big bad villain, if you will, in Quantumania. I'm thinking they introduce Kang and a series of his variants at the end of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, or a post-credit scene.
Yeah. Man, and the wild thing is, I was reading something. I wasn't watching a TikTok because I only watch TikToks that Alfonso sends me. They were basically saying you want to go back and watch all of the What If cartoons in order to be ready for this show, or excuse me, for this movie. We haven't even touched on that.
Yeah, I rewatched them. I think when I seen the first Doctor Strange and they had like what you think is like evil Doctor Strange that got stuck in the book. I have rewatched it, and there's also like people were saying that Captain Peggy is going to be one of the Illuminati's in there.
Oh yeah, Peggy Carter. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
as well as Black Bolt. I think is rumors too. I went back to watching Humans just in the event that they're going to have, and that was brutal.
Okay,
but it was still better than Eternals.
If they do, is it going to be that actor?
I hope so. That is currently Captain Pike in Star Trek Beyond, or it's not Beyond, it's Strange New Worlds.
The new one.
Yeah, the new one that's just coming out. I don't think he can do both, but maybe he can have a cameo. I think that actor's so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a cameo because I don't think they're going to do anything else with the Inhumans because you got the mutants. But I think this movie has to introduce the X-Men, because this is the perfect way for them to introduce the X-Men and the mutants. There's no other. I don't think they can come out with a different way, and they got to get it going. They can't wait for another movie to introduce the X-Men. Right. Somehow, some way, that has to be in there.
Right.
It also has to let you know where Kane's going to be at. Those are the two things that I think is going to happen in this movie, because if Kane's the next big villain that everyone's going to fight, you have to establish him sooner than later.
He's going to have his big Thanos moment where he's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
But is he going to be any better than Thanos? I mean, when we all saw Thanos, we were like, man.
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a fan of Kang. Although I like the actor that's playing him, but
Yeah.
in the comics, I didn't care too much for Kang.
That's the great thing about the MCU, bro, is you didn't like any of these characters.
For real, dude.
Yeah.
For real.
I mean, we've talked 43 minutes about Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I also read like James Gunn was close to having Darkhawk in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, that would have been sweet.
Alan, you know I had mad Darkhawk comic books, and Alan would be like, why you keep picking it up? Because I love it. That would have been awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I almost wish they would never said it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know that, bro. You didn't put him in there, bro. Why you gotta play with my feelings? Smoking?
Right. Play with my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to step back from everything you guys are saying. I feel like the X-Men being introduced in the MCU is going to be X-Men 97.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I agree.
No. Sorry.
We got Prof X, dude. He's there. We know it's
Yes, but as you explain with that Screen X, it's the animated Professor X.
Well, it may not. I mean, he looked live action in the. Well, I don't know. It was a shadow and a chair.
Well, it is a cartoon version, but it's also a live version.
It's a live action
version. You will get a live version, I think, to Alan's point. It's going to be a live version of the X-Men 97 that are going to be the X-Men of the MCU.
Yeah.
Could be.
And what I think is they do that because they're making the new cartoon. I think the new cartoon is going to be the foundation to create a storyline for the mutants. So then when it comes with the live version, they don't have to go backtrack or explain anything else. They could do it on the cartoon. So when they do come out with a movie, they can just jump right into it.
Do you guys remember how long ago Disney Plus put the X-Men icons on their service for your avatar? And like everybody's like, well, why? There's no, I guess they're bringing the X-Men cartoon over. But it's like, they were like dropping hints, man. It was so stoked. So stoked.
I feel like X-Men 97 is probably going to play for about 2 or 3 years. And at the end of X-Men 97, which will then be X-Men 2000, which in my opinion will some way become X-Men 2025, they will be in the MCU.
It's not going to be right away.
What I'm saying, Joe, is I feel like all the events that happen in X-Men 97, they're going to do time jumps, and they're going to end up, whatever they're doing is going to end up where they're part of the MCU in the X-Men 97 universe. And then they'll launch X-Men from the cartoon, and it'll be like, and to pick up or leave off where you saw them in the cartoon, it's going to tie directly into a live action movie.
I think so, but do you think they're going to do 3 years of X-Men 97?
I just threw that out as a number.
No, I know. I'm just saying, do you think? Or is it just going to be 1 year? But to your point, though, if you think about it from that standpoint, are you going to have – you're still going to introduce like a new Avengers, right? To fight Kang. So you're going to have like a new team to go against Kang.
Right.
And if he's the next baddie, I would think that they would have to include all the Marvel characters that they got to fight Kang. Right. Otherwise, you're going to get the comparison. Well, that's not the same as Thanos. You're not a big baddie if you can't have everyone in MCU come and fight you. Only, you know what I mean?
If you can't clear the benches.
Yeah. So I think, to your point, if they do it that way, it'll take 2 to 3 years. Maybe I'll say 2, just for them to finish up with Kang. And so when, to your point, if X-Men 97 ends to 2000. Then the next big thing is they always want to do a Secret Wars, which would fit perfectly to introduce the X-Men and everybody else to have a Secret Wars.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all that just kind of crosses over. What makes me think that even more is they set up Multiverse of Madness in a series of cartoons.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it just makes sense that even though it doesn't appeal to, like, let's say, John Q moviegoer, for us as comic book nerds, we're like, this is so perfect. It's like cartoon movie, then back to cartoon again.
Mm-hmm.
The cartoon ties back in all the movies.
It might not even be that long because they're doing a lot of TV series on Disney that would be normally movies to set up things.
Yeah.
And so they can knock out so much more on that and have 6 to 8 episodes. And it seems like they can do more. Like, even though people complain about how slow it is, I think they're taking the time to develop the characters and move the story along. So there you can get all that out of the way. So then you can do a crossover a lot faster.
It's perfect if you think about it, because we're getting good content, but they're moving the MCU along faster than they ever could have by coming out with movies.
Mm-hmm. Even faster with cartoons. I mean, they cover a lot in the What If. Right. So just imagine X-Men 97, they're going to cover a lot.
Yeah. By the way, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, if you have not watched the What If series, What If, do it before you watch Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I would.
Do you guys think it's necessary to watch WandaVision before? Because that's a lot of watching.
I do. I do. You can't miss out on it because it's going to be too much of an integral part of this movie.
Yeah.
You could do what I normally do and just Wikipedia that. I think I stopped. I wouldn't watch it. I think they were up to 3 episodes. I think I watched the first one. I'm like, man, screw this. I didn't watch I Love Lucy when it was I Love Lucy. I was like, I'm not going to do this, dude. And, Alan's like, dude, you need to. It gets better. I'm like, man.
Yeah, but the last time I said that was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sorry.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think it's going to live up to the hype and be good? Or is it going to be just okay?
I don't know.
You think it's going to be better than Far From Home?
Well, that's the thing. I was so afraid of Far From Home because I'm like, it's just got too much. They're not going to be able to do it. I was scared. And with this one, it's like they've got too much. Are they going to be able to do it? And I'm like, yeah, they're going to be able to do it.
I think Far From Home was the second one.
Oh,
No Way Home. Yeah,
Home Run, Jack.
What was the first one? What's the first one?
Homecoming.
Home Run.
Homecoming.
Home Run Derby.
Homecoming. Far From Home.
Homeboys in Outer Space.
There was also Milo and Otis Go Home, but that was a movie about a cat and a dog.
Homeward Bound.
Home Alone.
On the Range.
Yeah.
Home Alone 2.
I think I always get them all confused. I'm just like, I don't know.
Apparently I do, because I totally just said.
You went for it, Alfonso. You were like, yeah, Far From Home. Too much is going on. I was like, was it? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Tom Holland's third Spider-Man picture.
First of all, to answer Joe's question, it's going to be awesome. My only concern is when they bounce around from director to director, and now Sam Raimi is going to be in it. Now he's not. I always feel like Sam Raimi is good, but he adds too much comedy and stuff. And I don't want to see too much comedy in Doctor Strange. This looks like a very serious movie, but I think it's going to be great. Let me throw this question at you guys, and I'll let you answer it first, Alfonso. Not what you want, because we know you want to see Rogue come out and step up behind Captain Marvel at the end of Doctor Strange. But let me ask you, what do you feel like the end credits or after credits are going to be for Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and what's it going to set up?
Well, I definitely think it's going to you're going to have 2, right? You always have 2. You're going to have the one that we just talked about with Kang. Kang's going to definitely be in it. TVA something. It's going to be Kang-centric. The other one's got to be Gore. Gore's going to come in. Let's see, who's the closest to a god there? Oh, the Strange Supreme, right? I put my thumb across my throat, showing that he was killing him.
For those of you not watching this live, but in fact watching it or listening to it on podcast, Alfonso did the thumb across the neck, which I just did once again, like a goofus, because you can't see it.
We got to put in Drax, like, why would you rub your thumb across his neck? No, it means I'm gonna kill him.
All they can hear is a sound effect.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let me talk about your theory there, Alfonso, or what you think is going to go down with the after credits. I feel like Gore the God Butcher is going to be covered in the end of Moon Knight. I feel like that's going to be his introduction. So I don't see him being at the end of this movie.
Yeah, but he's gotta butcher some gods, not just like one or two, like it's like, hey, let's have him butcher a god here, butcher a god there, butcher a god there. Boom, he's ready to go. Love it, baby.
But to Alan's point, there's really no gods in Doctor Strange.
So Strange Supreme is right there, man. He's killed so many deities,
He's not a god though. And then Moon Knight, you have gods in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's all these Egyptian gods, and he just comes through and he's like, you know what? Y'all suck. Chop, 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 chop.
Butchered. But to be fair, we don't have any gods. They're only aliens from other planets, right? That's what Thor is.
Except for Moon Knight. But there's also a cameo, like there's rumor of a cameo at the end of Moon Knight.
Of what?
At the end of Moon Knight, there's a cameo.
Of what?
Nobody knows. There's going to be a special guest, like a cameo, which they always do.
It's going to be Captain America pulling up a chair. Well, let me tell you what.
Guess who's back?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Joe, what is your theory of what the end credit's going to be?
I think it's going to, I'm good with Alan. I think it's going to have to do with something with Kang. They're gonna do something with Kang, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did something X-Men 97. If they did something with the X-Men, I think those two things is what I'm gonna be looking forward to. Hopefully, because they got to set up Kang, and Loki didn't do a good enough job to set up Kang. It was like a 30-minute discussion with Kang. Hey, you can either kill me or don't kill me, but that's on you. And it wasn't, it's. To me, that didn't hype me up at all, and it didn't make me say, "Oh, he's a pretty, he's a badass." I get that. Where they showed Thanos, and Thanos had that little look like, "Yeah, it's about to be on." I didn't get that from Kang. So, I mean, I'm hoping that they do something to set that up, because I think what the next movie is in July, right? It's Thor. I would think, right? I think that's the next one.
Right.
It's in July.
I'm sure you're right, but I don't want to be the guy that says yes, and then in the comments, people are like, Deuce doesn't know anything. So
we don't know anything. We just have opinions.
Yeah. You want facts? Go somewhere else. Go listen to Geekscape. Okay, they got their facts down. They do research.
Hey, sometimes we're right, and sometimes we're wrong.
We're all about the speculation here. Okay.
Yeah. we're like the average person. Talking what if
the average Joe.
Yeah. So we're like, what if this and what if that? Sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong.
Well, gentlemen, let me throw my end credits theory out at you.
Hit it.
I think the end credits is going to tie into Quantumania. It's going to tie into Kang, because at this point they're doing a lot of multiverse traveling, a lot of universe traveling, and I feel at some point they're also going to cross over into time travel, and that brings in Kang. It leads into Quantumania, and I feel like that's going to be the next setup. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my theory. Everyone write it down. That's my theory. Ladies, gentlemen, and knights, if you enjoy this episode or any episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast, or even if you don't and you just want to torture your friends, if you love it, share the Nerd World Order broadcast with your friends. If you don't love it, share it with your enemies. But either way, share this episode and maybe a few episodes of the Nerd World Order broadcast with your friends, with your enemies. Just share it, because it helps us to spread what we love to do, which is talk about all things nerdy. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds Redefined. Booyah!